What is the crack, lads? Welcome back. We've got another pack review. We've got Belgium from the national team selection here. 900 coins. I think the Belgium and the Portuguese packs that they've released, I genuinely think that they are very strong. I would say that the Portuguese pack is one of the best packs for this 900 because you've got Spain and Netherlands as well as England and Germany. I would probably say that the Portuguese pack is a very strong one. So if you want to check out the review of that, make sure and check it out on the channel. But for today, we are going to be focusing on Belgium. I also have every other pack reviewed, all the way from Brazil, Japan, all of these, the French, everything. Everything you see here is reviewed, lads. We've been smashing out the reviews of the players and trying to recommend whether they're worth spinning for or worth buying the packs for. So Belgium have got a nice selection of players, right? I think the biggest thing with Belgium is Kevin De Bruyne. I would have liked to have seen a couple of these players be kind of like iconic moment players. I think it would have been a nice little bonus for buying these packs because especially when they're giving away a lot of free 5-star players. I mean, the players, like between a 90 rated player and a 94 rated player or 95 rated player, it isn't a massive deal. I think the biggest things with these cards now are their form, unwavering form. And with the Legend of the Iconic Moment versions, they obviously are locked on B rating. Whereas with these, all these cards are C ratings. So if a player doesn't have unwavering form, they're not going to be really worth it, in my opinion. And there's a lot of the Belgian players that don't have it. So we are going to start with Batshuayi. A very good goal poacher, not bad in stats, not bad in playing with him. I've actually played with him on my Xbox profile. He's not a bad player, lads. He does go up to an 89 overall with the way that we train him up. We do have him over here on eFootball DB. You will see there. Nice player skills, super sub obviously as well as a big one. A lot of these players have different kind of player skills and stuff. Super sub, but the inconsistent form is a big killer on this card. And this is what I'm saying. You're going to be, struggling to get this guy into matches because he's just going to be down more often than not, right? But he has got good player skills, long ranger for his play style as well. And then, he does boost up with the 50 progression points, 26 levels. He does boost up to fairly decent speed and acceleration, good balance, good heading ability. You could look, because he's a bit smaller, you're kind of wasting your time having a player in like this that's a bit small, that doesn't have really exceptional heading ability. Because you can just buy a taller player like Jan Koller, or if you do have a player that you want to buy that's a fairly beast in the air, I think this guy is going to want to be played on the ground, and I think as a run and gun striker, there is better than him. He's probably one of the weaker guys here on the squad selection. We've also got the Donker. We'll look at him in a second, and Hazard, but Witzel as well. Yeah, Witzel is a very kind of average player. I think he has got some really good player skills. Obviously, any DMF or CMF that has blocker and interception, you need to kind of, have a look at it in more detail and see what he could actually develop into. But he's just super slow, man. He just doesn't suit my play style at all. You could have him as a Sergio Busquets type player, as an anchorman. If you're playing him just as an absolute, all-out defender, he would not be a bad option at all. Like, genuinely, I think a lot of these players, you can have him in a very, very kind of, you can train him up in very different ways. Like we have him here, right? We've got 46 progression points, and we would just be turning him, into a defensive monster in the defensive part of the field, or the main kind of like anchorman role, right? He doesn't have the pace. You're not going to get that pace in his card no matter what you do. So you're better off just focusing on passing, which you can get to 90 low pass and 85 lofted. And then you can get his aggression up really, really high as well. You can pump up this a little bit. You can pump that up to 4. You can pump that up to 4. You don't need to worry too much about his acceleration because you're not going to get that up past 60 unless you want to spend more points in that. And then you can just decide where you want to put the rest of it. I would probably stick a couple in dribble to have a really, good on-ball dribbler that you could use. You still have one extra point that you can put into passing, so you can get that 91 low pass. It's not a bad card. Obviously, the pace is something that you're going to have to look past, and he does have unwavering form. He is one of the only players in this Belgian pack that does have unwavering form. We also do have Courtois. We'll focus on him in a second. Meunier and Constanga and Vertonghen and Lukaku. So they're the guys that we'll just gloss over, and then we'll focus on the rest of the guys over on eFootball DB. So Meunier is kind of a bit of an interesting choice, right? He's got a load of player skills. He's got standard form, but he's got early crosser, and he also does have pinpoint crossing, which if you are using a lot of crosses or you're using a lot of target men in the box, he is a very good player. I would play him right mid to have that more, he's not going to be the best defensive right back, but he can play left mid or right mid, and that's where I would play him. He doesn't have massive pace. He does have good speed and good engine on him, so you could get up and down the pitch. You could also man mark one of the wingers to get back and help out. His defensive capabilities will be able to come in there. So he's a fairly good player if you wanted to top up your squad. And this guy also is kind of the yin to his yang. He's a bit faster. He doesn't have... he does have early crosser, but he doesn't have pinpoint crossing. So this guy's more of an engine, more of a defender. So if you are looking for a very solid right back, you could have, this guy on the right flank, and you could have Meunier on the right wing, and you could have very good players going forward. Both can cross the ball, both can pass the ball, both can get up and down the pitch. Meunier can go back and help out, so any frailties that he'd have would be able to be covered. Vertonghen, apart from his lack of pace, he does have excellent defensive stats when you train him up. He also has man marking, slide and tackle, but he doesn't have interception or blocker, which is a bit of a pity on this card. I definitely think he should have. His passing and his on-ball ability is quite decent as well, so he's not the worst. And then we've got Lukaku, Lukaku's got like that inconsistent form, so that's going to be a big problem on his card. He does have track back, so you'll need to play counter target on him to keep him up in the centre forward position. Now look, he can bang him in for you. 89 physical contact is quite decent. Kicking power is quite decent. Heading is quite decent, and offensive awareness is quite decent. But yeah, I just think that there's so many different and better players than Lukaku. I mean, buy Jan Koller from the box if you are the free coins, if you want to get him, somebody like that. So moving on to the pick of these guys, right? We are going to start with Dendoncker, who we have here over on eFootballDB.com. So there's two ways you can train up Dendoncker. You can turn him into like kind of an all-rounder, or else you can just kind of like really improve his defense capabilities and get that up. I think he's a fairly average CMF. If you are using him as a DMF, I think Witzel is probably better. This guy also has standard form. He does have interception, which is quite good, but other than that, I think that there's a lot better DMFs out there than him. We've also got Hazard, who is one of the picks of him here. Hazard's got absolutely incredible stats here. Like his regular card, lads, his pace is way down compared to this guy. Well, it's not way down, like it's -2 and -2 on the speed, but that makes a big difference when you are actually playing with him, because you are going to be able to have those extra points, as you see there. They both have, this guy's got 29 levels, this guy's got 31 levels. Hazard is a good player in the game. I think he definitely gets slept on, but you're going to have that perfect balance here where you do have all the passing skills and the dribbling skills that you could possibly need. He also has speeding bullet as his play style. And then you're talking about like 90 ball control, 90 dribbling, 86 tight possession, 90 acceleration, and 97 balance. Incredible. So he kind of plays a bit like Messi. You're going to have to be able to finesse shot a lot with him, but that inconsistent form, again, as you see over here, form 1, that's a big problem on this card. We also have Tielemans, one of my favourite players in PES, going back through the Master Leagues. I used to always buy him when he was like 17, 18. He was an absolute beast. And again, you can see the stats there, lads. Absolutely incredible stats. He's got 2 form as well. We've trained him up a little bit different than we probably would usually train him up, but we've just turned him in kind of an AMF. He's not really got the best engine on him, and especially with his aggression and defensive engagement. I boosted this small bit up, but yeah, you're not going to be focusing too much on him as your kind of box to box. Like, Goretzka will be a lot better, or De Paul or Canales or somebody like that. We've got Courtois. Courtois goes to a fairly, decent 92 reflexes and 87 clearing, 86 catching. His awareness and goalkeeper reach are the only things that let this card down. And you can see even his, special edition that they released earlier in the year. They're fairly, on par with what we're getting here. I mean, his standard card is quite good as well. That's got 16 levels. This has got 15. So you are going to get this. This is probably the best version of him that you're going to get, apart from this one here. But yeah, you are going to be able to get pretty identical to this. Like you can see here between the two versions that they release, it's an identical card, but the reflexes on the Belgium national team are better by 3 and worse by 3 on this card, and he's got better reach on that one and worse reach on this one. So they're pretty identical cards. The only difference obviously being that he's got 90 playstyle proficiency. And then last but not least, we have the reason you should be getting this pack if you are going to get this pack and you already don't have the Manchester City pack from way back when, right? Absolutely unbelievable card, lads. One of the best in the game. I have De Bruyne. I have this version of him, the Man City pack here, and he's incredible. I think I have this one, that I got, or I got one of his standard cards in a free spin as well. I mean, he's got an unbelievable card, lads, but you have to be able to use him very well, right? He's got unwavering form. We know that he's going to be a beast on the ball. We've trained him up. His 79 dribbling is perfect. Don't worry about that. As an AMF, all you need to do is get the ball and be able to shoot, be able to pass, and be able to one-touch pass onwards, like through the pitch, through the lines. Speed and acceleration are fine. There are better, like, pacier attacking midfielders, but they don't have the blend of shooting, passing, and balance and stamina that De Bruyne has, and he's also able to be very aggressive on the ball. He kind of is like Pedri. He plays above his stats. Like 96 overall, an incredible card. And yeah, he's probably the pick of the Belgian cards. So that is it, lads. Let me know what you guys think of the Belgian card, Belgian pack. Obviously, they're having a bit of a wobble with the World Cup. They've been poor in the World Cup so far. But this is a fairly decent pack. We'll be back with the Portuguese pack quite soon, lads. Hope you're enjoying these reviews. Let me know if you're going to spin or skip, and I will talk to you in a bit. Peace.